Hello, welcome to Siano on the Sidelines show. I'm Karina Justice, joined by Maddie Sims, and of course Sterling's athletic director, Mr. Ken Siano. Thank you so much for joining us for our first episode.
Wow, this is exciting. The first one ever. We had a little pilot 2 weeks ago, but this is the first real one. You guys came up with a great name.
Thank you.
I put you to the challenge and for a name change, and I'm highly impressed. And I'm excited to get this thing going.
Well, of course, we know we're going to be talking with you today. So we're going to break down the progress of all of our winter sports activities, and we're going to head and look into our regular season and now playoff schedules. We're going to talk about Coach Kate, and she's going to be our guest on the show for today. More on that in a bit, however. We're going to recognize the swim and wrestling teams who closed out their regular seasons. Let's start with the swim team. They had a huge improvement this year. They started off 4-7 this year, comparatively to their 1-8 on the season last year. How would you think, or how do you say that this gives us an insight into how they're going to be in the future as such a young team?
Well, I think the key there is what you said is two seniors who are graduating, the rest of the team's coming back. And, of course, we'll add some impact freshmen. So we're bringing the whole team back, which is huge. And it's going to be exciting because they have a lot to show, a lot to improve on. And it's just going to be a good team next year.
Awesome. Now, we're going to look at their final schedule. You can see this is how they went on the season with a win against Holy Cross, West Deptford, Pemberton, and Gateway. And these wins were very, very huge on the season for them.
Yeah, particularly the Holy Cross was a tight win, and West Effort was a tight win at Riverwind's facility, and they just did a great job. And they obviously suffered a tough loss in the playoffs to Lower Cape May, but hopefully we bounce back next year with a higher seed, and one of the teams will have to come to us.
Great. So now we're going to look at our wrestling season, and we're going to see how that was going. So the wrestling team faced Lower Cape May in the first round of the Group 2 playoffs, and they lost a hard match, 66-9. But they look to build off this match against a powerhouse team, and they bring the energy into the district tournament and the rest of their individual season. So the wrestling team has, in fact, had their first ever girls wrestling team. Along with that, they won their first ever girls or women's wrestling match in Sterling history. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I think it's great. I think it's great for the sport. It's obviously growing. It's growing rapidly, I should say that. And to see the girls out there performing at a high level is awesome.
Great. And with this boys wrestling team, there are only 3 seniors on this team. And with them going into districts this upcoming few weeks, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, so the season's kind of wrapping up from the team perspective. We are now into like the individual portion of the season. So it was tough to see them wrestle. I drove down to Lower Cape May and see them finish. Lower Cape May was an excellent wrestling team. We're not on that level yet, but hopefully we're working towards that goal. Districts are going to be exciting because everyone has a chance now to prove that they're worth a shot to get to regions, and then from regions to states. So it's going to be cool to see which wrestlers we have advance over the next couple of weeks.
Great. So now we're going to be switching over into our winter track news. We had 2 school records broken over this weekend. Izzy Petruno broke the high jump record previously held by Genovia Logan. Her record is 5'4". However, she just beat the record previously that was 5'2". And Bright John also broke the 200-meter record with a time of 22:91, which the old record had been 23.01 seconds. Congratulations to them. How do you feel about that?
That's great. So now the goal for them is to take what's going on right now in this winter season and carry it over to the spring. So I'm excited to see if we can get their name on some of the boards in the gyms, and we can break some more school records going forward.
Awesome.
Yeah, very exciting.
Switching gears to the basketball teams who are getting ready for the playoffs. So for the Sterling boys basketball team, we have 3 outstanding players. We have Zion Arnett, who averages 11 points per game, Julian Johnson, who averages about 10, and Travis Schmidt, who averages about 10 points per game. Siano, I have a question. What are you looking forward to seeing these 3 boys getting ready for the playoffs?
So the thing that stands out to me with that group is that they are all seniors. So this is their last opportunity now to play, for the Sterling Knights, and they have to prove they belong in that playoff bracket and lead by example for the senior class, and hopefully with a showing that is something we can be proud of. So I'm looking forward to them to be leaders and do a great job heading into the playoffs.
Sterling boys basketball, their next schedule is today versus Lindenwold at 5:30 at the Castle. February 15th versus Audubon at 11 a.m. at the Castle, and the 21st away versus Bishop Eustace at 7.
Yeah, so the Audubon here is the Camden County tournament, so hopefully there's a couple more games in there because it's a win in advance kind of tournament, so hopefully we win on Saturday and play a couple more games in that tournament.
Sounds good. And the boys basketball PowerPoints, they are currently seated at number 11. How are you looking forward to watching them in the playoffs?
See, I was hoping we would be in that top 8 there so we can have a home playoff game. But I'm excited to see what they do on the road. We're going to have to win on the road and be tough on the road. We were able to get a big win down at Paulsboro yesterday or 2 days ago. It's always tough to play down at Paulsboro, so we can prove that we're a good playoff road team. That's the goal. Let's see if we can get it done on the road.
Great.
And now switching over to girls basketball, their schedule, Monday the 17th at Rancugas Valley, the 20th, which is our senior night, versus Winslow, and playoffs are to be determined.
Yeah, so we're almost at the finish now. We have a couple games here. Looking forward to senior night. We have some seniors we want to celebrate. We are sitting there at 12-12. Again, something that's very impressive. I touched on this last time on the pilot show. We are a team that is constantly fighting. Maddie, you being one of them. A lot of fun to watch. Okay, you guys are one of the more fun teams to watch I've ever been around. The expectations weren't there, but you guys are far exceeding them.
Mr. Siano, I have a question that I would like you and Maddie to also discuss over. How would you say that this basketball team has improved and also proved everybody wrong this season and just really grown as a team and as a powerhouse?
Oh, that's a great question. For me, it was I kept hearing during beginning of the season low win totals, and for me that wasn't really something I was going to buy into. I was looking forward to watching teams play like the Coach McDonald brand of basketball, and that's exactly what you guys do, Maddie, and it's resulted in double-digit wins. No one expected that, and to me, I'm just very proud to be part of it.
And Maddie, what's your perspective on that?
I would, agree with Siano here. I mean, the beginning of this season, it was rough. We didn't really have much team chemistry, and, we weren't used to playing with each other. But as we spend every day together practicing or playing games, we got stronger together. The chemistry got stronger, and, now we're just a big family who just loves playing with each other. And it really helps us on the court when we do that.
That's awesome.
Very well said. Very well said.
Before we get off to a quick break, we wanted to take a moment to recognize 2 athletes of the month for January. From the girls basketball team, Paris Logan, and from the wrestling team, JoJo Carter.
All right, so Paris Logan, what can you say about her? I mean, she is just a warrior. I think Coach McDonald describes her as a warrior, someone that, represents our athletic programs at the highest level. She doesn't say much, but, she lets her play take care of her talk. Someone that's great to be around. It's great seeing colleges here that are looking forward to having her. Hopefully she makes a decision soon so we can celebrate that. And she is 100% deserves that Athlete of the Month. And JoJo Carter is in the same boat. He is a transfer from Lindenwold. Great kid. He's the kind of kid who always says hello, how you doing, Mr. Siano? Here you can see him flexing right here, showing off his muscles. He's been great on the mat. Again, doesn't talk, lets his wrestling speak for him, and someone that we're very proud of here.
That's a wrap for our winter sports, but we're going to take a quick break, and after the break we will get a chance to sit down with head coach of the girls basketball team, Mrs. Kate McDonald, to chat about basketball team's progress this season and more. We'll be right back after this.
Did you know that Sterling High School students have access to a 3D printer in the Media Center? Just check out some of the cool projects made this year. Message Mr. Brashanti on Teams to learn how to 3D print and start making something cool today.
Welcome back to the Athletic Director Show. I'm Maddie Sims, joined by Karina Justice. We would like to thank our Athletic Director, Mr. Siano, for joining us in that first segment. Now we'd like to welcome our guest this week, Mrs. Kate McDonald, coach of the girls basketball team.
So, Miss McDonald, overall, what's the biggest challenge that you have faced as a coach?
This year or over the many years?
Over your years of coaching.
It's just, I guess, just always making sure I stay focused and making sure I treat each team as a new team, and just, like I said, just making sure I put everything in. It's very time consuming. It's very emotional. It's very tiring, and just making sure I give my best to everybody all year.
So obviously you've played here as a player. What made you come back to coach here at Sterling?
I love basketball, and I love coaching, and I love being around you guys. I went here, I played here, and just for me to have the honor of being the coach here has been very special to me and one of the biggest honors of my life.
So you played here as a player and learned some valuable lessons within the year. How have you brought those lessons to your players?
So I tried to take everything that I hated about my coaches, sorry, Mr. Ulrich. He was a little intense sometimes. The things that I didn't like and the things that I did like, and keeping in mind that in high school I was the star. In college I never got off the bench. So I try to remember that when I treat my players, from everybody that's the leading scorer to the last person that gets in. Everybody has value on the team, and I just want to make sure everyone feels valued and feels respected all the time.
And obviously you've seen women's sports evolve over the years. And what advice would you give to these young aspiring female athletes who have yet to see this amazing growth in women's sports?
I think there's a lot that goes into that question. I think first and foremost, I want people to continue to play multiple sports. I think that people that put themselves in just a one sport are missing out on camaraderie and teamwork and all of those kind of things. And the second thing I would say to everybody, not just an athletic standpoint, but I want everybody just to continue to become strong young women, not on the court, but off the court, just to contribute to society, become good, whatever it is you want to do, in work or in life or parenting or whatever. I just want kick butt young women.
So we're going to play something special for you,
Oh,
actually.
no.
Coach Kate McDonald was a 2,000-point scorer for Sterling High School basketball, and we actually have a video of this 2,000 points. So let's take a look at that.
Oh, my.
So look at that amazing 3-point shot. And then in just a couple moments, you're going to end up throwing the ball to somebody.
Yes.
Who is that? Who did you give that to?
That was my mom. I very much remember that. That was a cool moment. In the old gym, it was my gym, just so you all know that. Yes, I threw the ball to my mom. That was cool.
Does she still have the ball?
I don't know. Both my parents are passed, so that's a special memory for me. Honestly, the ball's somewhere. I don't know. It's probably in my house somewhere, but that's pretty cool.
So obviously, girls basketball has their own slogan on the back of their shirts. What is the meaning behind "We is greater than me," and how did it become?
We is greater than me started with Coach or Mr. Carter's wife, Ronnie. I coached all the Carter's daughters, and that's where it started. And we is greater than me just means simply that. It means that we are a unit as a collective are more important than any one individual's goals or needs or wants. And if everybody's goal is for the team to win, then those other goals will happen within that. So.
And with this, we can see just how important family is to you. You've had the honor of being able to coach next to your husband, and you've even been able to coach your own daughter. Mm-hmm. How has this been? Like, how do you feel about this great opportunity you've had?
It's like I said, it's been the honor of a lifetime. It's been a blessing. Having Tim with me all the time has been so special. Being able to go home and like rehash things and what I did right and what I did wrong. And coaching Mackenzie was just such a gift. I wouldn't trade it for anything. It didn't end the way I obviously wanted it to with the knee injury and everything like that. But the bond that we have over that is something that I will cherish forever.
That will do it for our first episode of the Athletic Director Show. We would like to thank Mr. Ken Siano and Coach Kate for joining us today. For the latest updates in Sterling Athletics, make sure you go follow Go Knights Sports on Instagram. Our next 2 shows will be 2 weeks where we'll have another special guest and playoff updates from the girls and basketball team. Thanks for watching this episode of Siano on the Sidelines. We'll see you next time, and as always, Go Knights!